Everybody has a turn back moment. You have a moment where you can go forward or you can give up. But the thing you have to keep in mind before you give up is that if you give up, the guarantee is it will never happen. That's the guarantee of quitting, that it will never happen, no way under the sun. The only way the possibility remains that it can happen is if you never give up, no matter.
Okay, all right. Then now we are just going to look at what now the arithmetic sequence. Okay, the arithmetic sequence. Yeah, the arithmetic sequence. All right. Therefore, it's very important to take notes of that. We have the arithmetic sequence for grade 12. Now, this is the arithmetic sequence for grade 12, whereby we are just going to look at what is the repetition of what of a common difference as well what is the constant ratio. All right. Therefore, we have the arithmetic sequence. What are you talking about? You're talking about the arithmetic sequence. It's very important to take notes. All right. Then the arithmetic sequence. What is the arithmetic sequence? What are you talking about if you are just talking about what is the arithmetic sequence? All right, then the arithmetic sequence, we normally say that as the teachers, is just the repetition. If someone asks you what is the arithmetic sequence, it is a linear sequence. All right, then in deep inside, then we're going to say that why are you calling this is a linear sequence? It's because here we are just going to look at what the repetition of a common difference. Okay, therefore we call this is the arithmetic sequence or a linear sequence, because that we are just going to look at what the repetition of a common difference. What is a common difference? The common difference, we always say that a common difference, it is the value of d. Okay, it's very important to take note of that the value of d, we use the value of d to prove this is the arithmetic sequence, or we use the value of d to determine what the nth term, as well what we use the value of d to calculate what the next what terms in what in the sequence. Do you see that? It's very important to take note of what the value of d. The value of d, we use the value of d to prove that this is the arithmetic sequence, as well what we use the value of d to calculate what or to determine what the nth term or the general term. Okay, then and also we use the value of d to calculate what the unknown variable or the next two terms on what on the sequence. All right, therefore what is actually the value of d is equals to 1 is equals to 1. See, the value of d is very important to take note that this value of d is always equals to t2 minus t1 and must be equals to what t3 minus what t2. All right, therefore remember the difference is whereby you're just talking about what the minus sign. Okay, is whereby you're just talking about what the minus sign. What is this now? Is whereby you're just going to look at what the minus sign. Okay, the minus sign, remember what is the value of d? The value of d is the common difference. Okay, then whereby we are just going to look at what in the minus sign between what between the consecutive terms. As you know that the word different is we normally say that is the highest value minus a lowest value. A difference is the highest value minus what a lowest value. Therefore, do you see that you have t2 minus t1? 2 is greater than 1 and 3 is greater than what? 2. Therefore, we call this is the highest value minus the lowest value. A highest value minus what? A lowest value on what? On the consecutive terms. Okay, therefore the arithmetic sequence is a linear sequence whereby we are just going to look at what the repetition of a common difference is the repetition of what of a common difference. It is a what a repetition of what of a common difference. Why are you saying that the arithmetic is a repetition of a common difference? It's because is that look, if I'm just having what the example, as you see, this is my my example, okay? If I'm just having the example, we have 2 and we have 4 and we have 6 and we have 8, we have 10. All right, therefore, why are you saying this is an arithmetic sequence? It's because when I'm just doing what is the difference between the terms, term 2 minus term 1 must be equal to term 3 minus what? Term 3, term 2. And also term 4 minus term 3 must be equal to term 5 minus term 4. This is a repetition of what? Of a common difference. 4 minus 2 equals to 2. 6 minus 4 equals to 2. 8 minus 6 equals to 2. 10 minus 2 equals to 2. This is a common difference. We call this is a common what? Different. It is a repetition. Do you see that? We have 2 that are repeated until to infinity. Do you see that? Therefore, we call this is a repetition of a common difference. Okay, therefore remember, how do you use this repetition to get what the next term? We normally say that 2 plus 2 equals to 4. 4 plus 2 equals to 6. 6 plus 2 equals to 8. 8 plus 2 equals to 10. Then 10 plus 2 equals to 12. Do you see that? This is a common difference. The repetition of a common difference. The value of D. We name this is a value of what? The value of D. A value of D. A value of D. I normally say that the value of D, it is a space between what? Two consecutive terms. Therefore, we call it the interval. A interval in grade 4. And grade 4, we normally say that it is an interval. What is an interval? An interval, it is a gap or a space between what? Two consecutive terms. Okay, therefore we call it is an interval. Then, but here in grade 12, we don't call it as an interval, but we call it now as a common difference. A common difference, it is a space between two consecutive terms. Therefore, that space, we call it is a value of D, a common difference. Okay, it's very important to take note of that. All right, okay. Then now, how do you find the nth term as well as the general term of an arithmetic sequence? It's very important to take note that. That is going to be what the second question. That's going to say that calculate or determine the nth term or the general term. Remember what I said about the nth term and the general term. I said that when I talk about the nth term and general term is whereby you're just going to look at what the formula of that sequence. Okay, then in grade 12 we have the formula for the arithmetic sequence. This is the formula for the arithmetic sequence. The formula for arithmetic sequence, it says that Tn is equal to a plus into n minus 1 close bracket times d. Okay, therefore what is important here on this formula is to find the value of a as well as to find the value of d. It's very simple to find what the nth term or the general term of an arithmetic sequence. Okay, then what are you talking about? We are talking about the value of a, Mr. Gold. This value of a in this formula, we normally say that is a first term. This is always be what? A first term. This is the first what? First term in the sequence. The number that is at the first position, we call that is the what? It is the value of a. A is always equal to T1. Is always equals to what? The first term is always equals to what? T1. A can be negative, A can be positive. Okay, any number that is on the first position, we call it as a value of A. Is very simple. Okay, then the value of D is, you know that the value of D, it is a common difference, the space between what? Two consecutive terms. Okay, therefore that space, we call it is a common difference. Okay, therefore how are we going to find what the nth term of this sequence? How is very simple. We're going to say that Tn is equals to, what is the value of A? The value of A is always equals to the first term on the sequence. You don't need to think about what is value of A. No, you just to observe, you just want to, you're going to check what is the sequence as well the sequence as well as the series. Then that number that is on the first position, we call it the value of A. Here we have 2, therefore that means we have 2 plus into n minus 1 close bracket times a d. What is a d? D is a common difference. D is a common difference, which is equal to 2. Do you see that? It's very simple and straightforward, okay? Therefore, what is important here to take note of for this equation is that we have the value of n, okay? This value of n, we're going to calculate the position. This is a position. We call this value of n, it is a constant number. It's just a natural number. It's just what the nature. This value of n is always, let me write here, this must be always be what? A natural what? Natural number, okay? It's very important to take note that this is a natural number. A natural number that must be what? That must be what? Positive. Must be positive. This value of n must not be negative, must be always positive, must be what is the natural number. What is the natural numbers? Are those numbers that are greater than what? 0, which are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, according to the definition of a natural numbers, we normally say that a natural numbers are all whole numbers excluding 0. Therefore, those whole numbers excluding 0, we call them natural numbers. It's very important to take note of that, okay? Therefore, remember, a position cannot be negative. A position cannot be what? Negative. Therefore, that's why we normally say that this position must be positive always, okay? Must be positive. Therefore, when you're just calculating the value of n, if you get the value of n as a fraction or you get a value of n as a decimal number, that means there's something wrong that you do on what? On your equation. You need to check the more the sign so that you're just going to able to what? To find the area. Then after that you're gonna solve must be positive. Then you solve the value of n must be what? Positive. Must be a natural number. That is a position. That is all about the important concept and what is the arithmetic. You need to note that we have the value of n as well what is the value of a as well the value of d. The value of n going to calculate on your exam as well what is the value of a and d by using what? A simultaneous what? Equation, okay? It's very important to take note of that. This value of a and d, you can able to calculate them on your simultaneous what? Equation. How are we going to calculate the simultaneous equation, Tishala? Okay, let me do the example, but this example is not going to be accurate, okay? Then for example, then they're just going to say that we have 10 which is equals to what? 100, and we have 10 21 which is gonna be equals to what? 480. Okay, then after that they're just gonna ask you determine the value of determine the first term as well what? The common difference of this sequence. If this sequence it is what? A arithmetic what? Sequence. Okay, it's very simple. What you're going to do, we are just going to use what? The nth formula. Okay, how? Since we have the value of n, here we see we have the value of n which is 10, and here we have 21. This is the nth term which is what? 100, and this is another nth term which is 480. Then what we're going to do, we are just going to say that we are just going to create what? The first equation, and also going to create what? The second equation. How? We're going to say that we have 10 which is going to be equal to 100, which is going to be equal to a into 10 minus 1, then times d. Then instead of writing n, I'm going to put what 10, okay? Instead of writing tn, I have tn, which is equal to 100. Then now I have two variables here. I have the value of a as well as the value of a. As well here, this is our first equation. Then the second equation, I'm going to use this one. I have 480 equals what? A plus into 21 minus 1, then times d. Therefore, then instead of writing n here, I'm going to put this 21. Tn, I'm going to put what 480, as you see. Then this is our second what equation. Then we have two unknown variable. Then we're gonna able now to find the value of a and d. Therefore, that's why we normally say this is it's gonna be what the simultaneous what equation. Then you just pay more attention on your equation. Okay. Therefore, that is it's very important to take note that you're gonna able to calculate also what the unknown variable here by using these a common different formula. For example, we're just going to say that we have a arithmetic sequence where the arithmetic sequence of the first term and the second term, and we have the third term in terms of x, and we have these term that are unknown. All right, then after that, they're just going to say that calculate or determine the value of x and y if the common different, then since is the arithmetic, if a common different, the value of d is equal to 3. If a common different is equal to 3, remember a common different, we always get a common different only if we are just going to say that term 2 minus term 1, which is going to be equal to 3, as well as term 3 minus term 2, which is going to be equal to 3, as well as here we have 3. It's very important to take note that the common difference is always be the first different on the arithmetic sequence. All right, then the rule is still the same. We have 2 plus 3 equals to x. Then we have x, which is going to be equal to 5. Okay, then you got what the value of x. Then it's 1 max. Okay, this is very simple. Then after that, you're going to substitute now. We have 5. Then 5 plus 3 equals to y. Then y equals what? 8. 5 plus 3 equals to 8. Then do you see that? You're going to get what? 1 mark. We are just playing with the number 13. It's very simple to take this trick and store on your mind. Then 8 plus 3 equals to 11. Then 11 plus 3 equals to 14. Do you see that? Then how we use what the common difference to calculate what the unknown variables. Okay. Then whatever is left, I'm going to do it on your the revision. Okay, I'm going to do what the revision. This is a basic for arithmetic. I'm just introducing. I'm just doing the introduction, the important concept. Then after this, I'm gonna do what the revision of arithmetic. Okay. Then sometimes they're just gonna say that prove this sequence it is the arithmetic. They're just gonna say that we have given a sequence. Then I'm saying that 3, and we have 7, and we have 7, 11. Then after that, they're just saying that okay. Then they didn't say anything here. Then the first question come out on the exam. Prove this sequence is the arithmetic sequence or is a geometric sequence with 3, 7, and 11. Okay, what we're going to do maybe is 3.1. Okay, prove this sequence is a arithmetic or show that this sequence is a arithmetic. Okay, then how we're going to show that this is a arithmetic? We're going to say that d equals to t2 minus t1 must be equals to t3 minus what? T2. This is very simple. Then after that, we're going to substitute. Then what is the value of T2? Is 7 minus term 1 is 3 equals to what is the value of T3? Is 11 minus T2 is equals to what is 7. Then after that, we're going to get what 7 minus 3 equals to 4. Then 11 minus 7 equals to 4. Therefore, now we draw a conclusion now. This is a arithmetic sequence. Why is it arithmetic sequence? Because we have a common difference which is equals to 4. Then you draw a conclusion. This is a arithmetic what sequence. Why is it arithmetic sequence? It's because we have a common difference. We have what? A common what? Different. Okay? A common difference which is equals to equals to 4. Okay, therefore that is how we prove a sequence. It is a arithmetic, or this is a geometric. Okay, then the next question is gonna come out. Calculate the value of x. Calculate the value of x. Okay, then they're just gonna say that we're given the arithmetic sequence. Then they're just gonna say maybe it's x. Then we have 5x, 5x. Then and we have 9x. Okay. Then they're just gonna say that this is an arithmetic sequence. They are just gonna give you what types of a sequence is that one, because we have the unknown what variables. Okay, if we have the unknown variables, they're always giving you the name of that sequence, so that you're just gonna able to stick on on the rule of that arithmetic sequence. Okay, then since we need to find we need to calculate the value of x and y, how are we going to calculate the value of x here? It's very simple. Then, as I said, that we use the value of t. Always use what? The value of t. For example, this 4.1. Then what we're going to do, we are just going to say that t2 minus t1 is equals to t3 minus t2. Okay, it's very simple. Okay, therefore we use what? The common difference. Anything that is